Ladies and gentlemen, episode 29. That's almost to 30. I don't know if you guys realize that, which is
dude,
mind-boggling to me.
Yes. I was gonna say maybe we'd hit my hit 30 episode 38 before I turn 38, but that's impossible. I turn 38 in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
We can crank out a lot real quick.
Listen, you're about to be on the road, dude. We're never going to see you again.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm glad
Paul's taking another sabbatical from the podcast.
Hopefully not. I'll try and get in where I can.
Paul murdered Mark Scogan, so he's on.
Turn up your volume. I can't hear you.
Yeah, turn up your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Hi.
You actually recently murdered Mark Scogan, I believe, and so you're actually going to be on the lam the next couple of weeks with Amigo the Devil.
I could literally hide in this house and nobody would ever find me.
No, you very much. I know where Paul is right now, and it is a hotel-sized home.
Yeah, no, just the wing of the house that I'm in.
You're in my wing.
Yes.
You're not even in my room though.
I have to tell you a funny story real quick. Okay, before we get started. So Mark's like, yeah, he's like, Brad was just staying over on that wing of the house, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well that explains. I couldn't find any full-size towels over there. They were all like the bath mat towels. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, you need towels over there? I was like, yeah, I need like real human-sized ones.
You call Mark. You're like, hey, Mark, what's with all the stacks of phone books everywhere? Like, this is super weird.
Hey, there's phone books everywhere, man. We can't figure out what's going on over here. Are you? Yeah. You're in one of the downstairs rooms.
No, I'm upstairs in the wing.
You're in the wing.
The mother-in-law suite, I guess is what it would be.
Are you in the bedroom?
Yeah, I'm at the desk.
Oh, weird. Okay, that's the room that I stayed in.
Yeah, upstairs with the kitchen and the
Okay, so you're in my room right now.
What's that artwork behind you? Are they like little?
Looks like a bunch of thumbs.
This tripped me out. Okay, so hold on. This tripped me out because the first day I was here, I like opened up the blinds and like that thing, it wasn't there, and that thing just popped up. It's a fucking TV that just pops up artwork.
Oh, it's the TV thing. It's the
tripped me out so hard because I was like, what in the fuck?
It's usually always the same painting. That's what freaked me out. I was like, okay, now I know exactly where you are. I know where the TV is. Right behind you where that door is open is the bathroom/closet.
Let's see. Yes.
I know. Yes. John.
Hi, John.
We saw that you were on Instagram Live this weekend.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. I got a couple of messages of people that had some shitty week or had a shitty week. Like, hey, you haven't done this in a while. And the part of me is just kind of like, man, my body I'm getting old. I can't deal with it. And so, I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoulder on. So you know how you start with the drink? I mean, you guys aren't drinking right now or borderline.
Or ever. Or we don't drink at all.
So when you have a glass of wine, you're kind of like,
actually don't drink ever.
Yeah.
I feel good after a glass of wine. What's two glasses of wine? So that 2 glasses of wine became 2 bottles. And then I'm just like, I'll jump on there for a little bit. I'll dabble in the anarchy, just kind of play around.
You're a man of the people, John.
When he's home, he is. It's funny because he's not like when we're on the road and stuff, and like people try to talk to him, he's not like a very personable person.
Not at all. No.
Well, I just don't want to. I'm trying. Like, I don't want to be easily distracted by some of these people, but also I don't. If you're working, you're working. Like, I'm not there to play patty cake or sing you a.
Says the guy that nailed my kid with a ball in the head.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's pretty good.
Talking a lot of smack.
Yeah,
I do want to say though, it was you guys have raised some awesome kids. It was actually cool to see all of them in the last leg. Like, it was really cool.
Thank you,
everybody had their kids out. It was great. My kid went viral yesterday with this stupid video that Brent posted. That? So we did we set up a Shinedown Cameo just for the month of October. We only took in 30 orders and they were gone in like 30 minutes. So but Brent, of course, did a very 29 of them. Brent did a very Brent Smith thing where I said, "Yo, I'll do the first 15, you do the second 15." Sent him. I did like a screen recording of me like doing it. I was like, "This is how you do it." Blah blah blah. Of course, I get a text at 8:30 that night. I'm not going to land till 11, dude. Can you just please knock them all out? I'm like, yeah. So I start doing them. Turns out while I was doing them, I thought I had 15 to do, and I came upstairs last night and I only did like 8. And I'm like, he texted me and goes, yeah, I just did some of them. So he did some of them. But while I was recording one, Avery had just woken up from a nap. And he was standing right here, but he was off. You couldn't see him. I just said, hey, man, I got to record these cameos real quick. You just have to be quiet. So
I love that he knows what cameos are. He's like, God damn, dude, I just woke up.
He's like, you fucking Punisher, dude.
He's like, bro, I gotta do this. I just woke up. So, I forgot that it might have, the girl's name was like Caden or something. And I said, hey, what's up? She was like 11 or 8. She's turning 8 or 11. I go, hey, Caden, what's going on? I said, this is Zach Myers from Shinedown. And literally before I could even get that out, he's off camera and goes, and my name's is Avery. Like a damn co-host. And dude, I got the giggles. I got the giggles so bad. For 20 minutes, I couldn't record another cameo. Even after he was out of the room, like I kept trying, and I was like, "Dude,
and my name's Avery,
and my name's is Avery." Hey, Caden, my name is Zach Myers, and I am in a band called Shinedown. My name's Avery.
Dada.
What?
My name is Avery.
JR sent it in our friend group chat last night and was like, yo, I've laughed at this for like 10 minutes. It is hilarious.
I can't wait. All right, I can't wait.
It's so good. And like, he was just like, and then I started laughing and I like, obviously like that cameo's over, but I kept the camera going and he goes, Dada. And I go, what? And he goes, my name's Avery. And I was like, I know your name is Avery. Oh, dude, it was hilarious. It was, now, but we did that.
What if tomorrow night he's like, hey man, like, I went viral. I've been on Blabbermouth. I've been everywhere.
Where's my cut?
Where's my cut, dog?
Where's my cut?
I mean, we're not keeping any of the money either. It's all going to charity. So, guess what, son? This is what happens when you come from a charitable family. You don't get a cut. You get a cut of nothing. How about that?
I love it.
We finished the tour. Everybody's at home now. I gotta leave. Friday. Well, Friday I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna go sit in with my buddy Joe Bonamassa in Memphis.
Oh, you playing?
Yeah, I'm terrified. And Saturday I'm flying to DC to do the DC 101 AFSP suicide prevention walk.
Fuck yeah.
Which we do every year. We didn't get to do it last year. And then it's also Eric's birthday on Saturday. So we'll all be together. And then Sunday, I think I'm going to go see our friend David Chappelle.
Yes.
In Nashville with Joe Rogan.
I'm fucking jealous. That'll be really good.
A very non-controversial group of
men. What could possibly go wrong with those two guys?
I went back and rewatched that Dave Chappelle special a couple more times since we were last on together. And I mean, I loved it. I find his humor very satirical, but very on point in terms of talking about real life situations in life and with his way of doing it. But you went back and listened to it. I'm like, man, this guy, and I think it was maybe D.L. Hughley or one of those prolific other black comedians, maybe not Kent, one of those guys. And they basically said what he did in this special was basically put his foot down, really support the African-American entertainer, the comedian, the voice. It was kind of, it's always very fascinating when a comedian does something prolific like Dave Chappelle does a lot, where other comedians kind of rally behind and be like, hey, like, no, this is prolific. Or these other transgender celebrities who are saying, no, he's a comedian. Let him, what he brought up was very good, vital points. And I just find it super fascinating that these people could get home, watch it, or don't even watch it, like those two shriveled up prudes that were in the crowd next to Jeff Brandon, who weren't like reacting to anything, or just like, it's just people like that's why this country sucks.
Well, could you see Jeff Brandon in the special?
Oh, dude, that meme that's going around with those two women after he makes like the beet juice joke, you see Jeff Brandon like 3 people over just laughing, drinking out of his cup.
Oh man, I didn't see that. I gotta see that. Dude, I gotta see this meme. You know what? The Chappelle thing is one of the things I want to talk about. Paul, have you watched it yet?
Yes, I did watch it, and it just made me appreciate Chappelle so much more. And it made me realize, like, man, you gotta laugh. Like, he's a comedian. Like, what do you expect from a comedian? It's got to be a serious thing all the time? No, he's a comedian, man. Not only is he a comedian, but he's fucking intelligent. That man is so goddamn smart, it's insane. Like, he does his homework. If he doesn't know something, he doesn't know a fucking word, he's going to look it up and figure out exactly what it is. Like, you're going to insult him, he's going to find out what you're insulting him and how you're insulting him, right? And it's just, he said something in there that was incredible because everybody was saying, oh, you attacked the LGBTQ community and blah, blah, blah. He said, I want to say he said something in there along the lines of like, look, like I come from a minority, race. You guys have your minority people. Like, why the fuck why is this a thing? Like, the thing that Chappelle's always done is he's never attacked one kind of people, right? He's never attacked one kind of race, one type of human, religion, whatever it is. He's a comedian. He goes after everybody. And it's not like he's going after. You got to make fun of every situation if possible. Like, so I thought it was perfect. I 10 out of 10, one of the best, I wouldn't even consider it a comedy skit. Like, it was just a special. It was just a good special.
And also, this is something I wanted to bring up anyway today. So we got organically into it because I was talking about going to see him on Sunday. But secondly, he didn't attack. He doesn't attack anyone.
No,
he is stating his view. And listen, it's really not a comedy special. It's kind of like his last couple things are. Listen, he's the greatest speaking celebrity of our generation, public speaker, and he uses comedy. I feel he uses jokes to get his point across, but it's more like a TED Talk, right? Like it's more like he's just kind of talking. It's not really.
Yeah,
it's funny.
He's got some good one-liners in there that are hilarious.
He's got some things that I think he uses jokes to get his point across, which is one of the strongest things you can do. You look at somebody like at the end, Pryor did that. Carlin did that really later in life. Louis C.K. has done it. Like there's people who kind of have that. They use humor to get a point across. But Dave is listen. His parents were two of the smartest people ever. His parents were geniuses, genius IQ levels, his dad and his mother. I believe his mother's still alive. And the guy is really smart. And what's funny to me is that he wasn't attacking anyone. And I watched it a second time and I can see where, listen, you can be upset about something because you feel like these people have been attacked or bullied their whole lives, right? Well, he's not attacking you. To me, this is me, a dumb musician, person who gets to talk on a microphone.
Good hog, though. You have a good hog.
Say it again.
Very decent hog. Very decent hog. This is me. This is what I took from it. And this is a person who supports that community and whatever they want to. I support anybody doing whatever they want to do as long as they don't hurt other people, right?
Absolutely.
He was saying to me, you want equal rights, but you don't. That's not what you want. You want more rights than everybody else.
His line in there, he's like, you want all this equal stuff and everything until you want to be white. I laughed so fucking hard.
He said it's time to be white when they call the cops, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
It's
dying.
Listen, here's the thing. You don't have to like what he said, right? But nothing he said was false.
No.
No, other than he said every one of us passed through the legs of a woman. Obviously, some people had C-sections. Some people were test tube baby. You know what I mean? Like that's obviously that's it. But you understand what he's saying. Yes. We all, listen, he's not, I don't feel like, and this is to my people who are in that community. He wasn't attacking you. Just listen, you can support something and not understand it. I think what he's been saying this whole time since the beginning of these Netflix specials is, I don't understand it. I think there are two genders, right? That's what he's saying. And listen, the guy's also a very pro-life guy. So it's like, listen, it's the same thing I say, right? I think, because he also says, don't abort the baby. In that it's like
it was funny the way he said it too, because it tied back.
He said it before, like if he said it in Sticks and Stones too. He said, "Are you anti-abortion or are you anti-consequences?" Or no, he says, "Are you anti?" Because he's obviously a very pro-life dude, but he's also said in the last special, we need to stay out of this one. If you're a man, you need to stay out of this one, which I believe he's right about that too. But I think what he is saying is like, listen, like the same thing that I've said before, like. There is a group of people, not the LGBTQ people, but just there's a group of people maybe on a political party side that only use science when it's convenient for them, right? Mm-hmm. So I can go all day long, right? Like I'm a Christian, right? I believe in God. That's just what I believe in. I don't need I don't need you, Paul, to believe in it.
Sure.
Because I believe in it. But when I say that, there are people who will go, ha, 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 you're an idiot, science, science, science. And then Dave Chappelle goes, there are two genders. And people go, oh, you're a bigot, blah, 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 cancel him. Blah. And he goes, well, what about science now?
Yeah.
Now you're ignoring science, basic science. So listen, I'm not going to say, I think they should be able to be whoever they want to be. And I think that he's not disagreeing with that. I think he's saying like, you want more rights than me, a black man who has been trying to fight for equal rights my entire life. And you're not asking for equal now. Now you're asking for more. When he ends it, and that story that he ends on is so amazing about Dabney. He goes, listen, This person wasn't upset about this. You're upset about it. And you're only upset about it because it's a personal thing to you. And there's other people, like, if she wasn't upset, why are you upset? It's like, and granted, listen, everybody has their own agenda, but he's basically saying, like, and when he ends it and he says, let's stop punching down on my people. Because he's like, you're above me now. You've won the rights race.
Sure.
This is a black man that still probably gets nervous when he gets pulled over by the cops. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's like, when he ends it like that, man, and that story he ended on was so fascinating, man. It just shows again what a genius he is. And it's like, but listen, people, and shout out to Netflix, man, because people went to Netflix and they fired those people, man. They fired people for trying to get them to take it off the platform. Because also, here's a great thing, too. Think about this, right? If they would have buckled, because Dave Chappelle doesn't need you. Dave Chappelle doesn't need Netflix.
He's fine.
You can't cancel Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle doesn't want to be in movies. He doesn't want to be on TV shows. He is his own center, right? That guy's a four-wall guy. He can go into any building in the world, sell it out by himself. He doesn't need these things, so you can't cancel him. And I envy that position. I envy it because think about this too. Think about how right he would have been if they would have taken it off. Because here's the thing. He wins. It's a double win, right? No matter what. If they take it off, he goes, you're proving my fucking point.
Sure. Yeah. That
black people don't matter. But these people now have more rights than black people have been fighting for rights their entire lives, right? And if you leave it on, he also wins. But it's like, if you take it off because of a group of people are mad about something that he said, you just proved his point. It's like he's winning no matter what, dude. This guy is like,
great. No, it's
truly amazing, man. He's a fascinating guy. I'm very excited to see him on Sunday. And I'm interested to see where it goes from this. I do believe he's not going to do another special for a while. I don't know what he meant by that. I don't know. Part of me thinks Chappelle Show might be coming back.
Cool.
Part of me thinks maybe he's just done with Netflix for a minute, even though he loves Netflix. Because they obviously, if you watch the other thing where he talked about, they gave him, they took Chappelle Show off their platform, which is a very brave thing to, listen, we live in a communism society. We're all, we're sorry, not communism. Sorry. Capitalist. We live in a capitalist society. Sorry, I got my words flipped there. And everybody wants to make money, and that we live in a place like that. And for the guy from Netflix to go, hey man, these people hurt you. I'm going to take Chappelle Show off my platform when no telling what they paid to get it on their platform. And they're just like, I'm going to waste
$20 million for this last special. That's why the person got fired, because they started leaking what they were paying him for his specials and all this crazy shit. It's just like, oh yeah, but the CEO doubled down twice this past week in little texts and tweets and whatever he put out there, say, hey, I support all people. We could all be different with different backgrounds. We can all have different voices, but at the end of the day, we all have to be at the same level.
There's comedians on that platform making fun of every single walk of life, race, color. And you know what? If you take this guy off as a black man who's talking about something that, listen, he just doesn't understand it. He's not saying he disagrees with you. He's saying you should be able to do what you want. But stop coming after me for not understanding. It's like, again, you don't want equal. You want more.
It's like the perfect one-man play of a guy with internal dialogue just speaking out.
It's great.
About what he's going through. It's amazing.
He's fantastic. He's obviously fantastic. And that's kind of something, where he sits mentally, with kind of walking away from specials for a minute probably. And that's something that we wanted to talk about today. I know we wanted to get into October's Mental Health Awareness Month, as we all know. And I know that's something we wanted to get into today. Man, we have not had a funny podcast so far today. And I don't know if we will now.
We will.
Well,
there's plenty we can get into.
I'd love to hear Zach's review and commentary on the new Halloween movie.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
I can't really talk about it. Listen.
Sure you can.
I can talk about all right, listen, I obviously want to be in the next Halloween. I'm friends with a lot of people on there. It's been talked about that I may be in the next one. Even listen, all I care about is being I just want to be if I get to go to the set again, that's all I care about. I don't really care if I'm in the movie or not. I just want to be able
You're
to
allowed to have
set.
an opinion about the movie though.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna fully go into it like you and I did before we
got on.
I'll say this.
I never heard that, so feel free to throw it out there.
No.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I thought the dialogue was very subpar.
It was corny.
But
it had some Cobra Kai level cheese to it.
I'll talk to John. Me and John can talk about it, and you can just chime in where you think is necessary.
This is why. On a side note, I actually have James, Jude, and Zach on my other podcast, Halloween Night.
Halloween, yeah.
Awesome.
But I went into the movie a fan of horror movies, slasher movies. I don't consider him. He's not how Zach is to Michael Myers. I would say I'm more closely aligned to say Jason. And that's just preference, whatever. I mean, I think some of the movies are stupid there too. But
most Friday the 13th are stupid.
Okay. Well,
most horror movies.
Okay, I prefer a serial killer with a machete as opposed to a guy with a charcuterie knife walking around.
Charcuterie knife.
So either way, I watched the movie. I am a fan of I thought some of the kills were inventive. I know Zach's not big into the brutality of it, but I do think.
Yeah, but Paul and I were talking about this though. I'm sorry. I don't mean. I want you to keep going on your thought. I loved the kills. I didn't need to see the goriness or the bloodiness of it, but the creativeness of the kills I loved.
Yes.
Keep going.
See, I love the whole thing.
Roof, the guy that committed suicide. I thought you didn't have to show him blown up on the ground. You didn't have to show that type of thing.
I agree.
You didn't have to show a lot of it.
Right. Mm-hmm. There was there's 2 scenes of the movie that I just loved. The one where he kills the elderly couple, the black woman, the older man, when he's putting the knives in the back. How they framed that shot with Michael grabbing the knife, sticking it, and it looked vintage, like 70s when they first filmed it. And I just love the way they shot that.
Okay, here's all right. So you guys wanted me to cut in when I have the film was shot amazingly.
The cinematography was great.
Now,
and
hold
also
on. In the first trailer, I didn't like how like CGI it looked. Like when he was walking out of the house, I was like, "Oh, this looks way too."
We talked about that on the podcast.
We talked about, and I was like, "Dude, that looks way." But they don't even show that exact scene in the movie.
There's a couple scenes they took out of the movie, yeah.
Which I appreciate because I was like, "Oh, this doesn't look like I thought it was."
I told you, I remember I was there when they filmed that, and that was like real fire. Like
but it looked way
no CGI
better
going on.
Yeah, no, it looked way better. Anyways, sorry, go ahead, John.
The subplot with Tommy, while I admired the idea of
too much Tommy.
No, too much Evil Dies Tonight chance, like dumb stuff.
Corny.
If they said Evil Dies Tonight one more time, I was going to come to my house and put on one of my masks and start fucking stabbing people.
Evil Dies Tonight. And so I thought that was very corny. I thought the flashbacks, the actors and the voice actors that got for Donald Pleasant.
Great. No, the voice actor was terrible. Voice acting was terrible. But shout out to my very good friend Chris Nelson though, because that guy, that was Donald Pleasance.
It looked
like,
just.
It was great.
And
dude, how? Chris Nelson asked me to. I was going to make a post today of all my set pictures that I took. He asked me not to post the 78 mask today because he wants to hold that for a while. Which is fine. I'm fine with that. I respect his decision. He doesn't want anybody to recreate it. Which the mask for the flashback. Dude, how he did it though, how he painted it to where it looks like the 78 mask, but it like with the shadows and it's kind of dark like that.
Dude, really dark.
Killed it. And then, it was Chris Nelson's obviously the guy that made the guy look like Donald Pleasance. He posted pictures today. C Nelson FX is his Instagram. It'll probably be a couple posts back by the time that this comes out, but he posted the guy the lookalike guy, and then all the makeup he did to him today is really good.
It was great.
The voiceover stuff I didn't love. I agree with John. The flashbacks were like, I mean, that was cool.
Bringing back some of the old actors, actual people to kind of fill in that time lap. Now,
two. They only brought back 2 real ones.
Great Hogs. And so obviously talking with Zach and James, who plays the Shape. I hated her boyfriend from the first 2018.
Yeah, John was very upset the boyfriend didn't die.
Dude, I tell you what, when I saw that in the theater, it was the most horrific way to kill someone, and I was there for it. Like I loved it. As douchey as that kid was, he got the most violent douchey death.
It was good.
He wasn't redeemed.
Death.
He just fucking. It was so good.
Here's the thing I liked about that. And it kind of goes back to what you were talking about, right? Like, okay, there was more than one thing in the movie I didn't love. I'll say that. That's my nice way to say it. I do love the creativeness they brought back to him. Obviously he's still a little kid in his head, so like all the knives in the back, he was obviously making like some sort of face or something to make it look funny. And then
trying to figure out what knife he wanted to kill the rest of the people with.
Yeah, which one? That's what I'm saying. So like, and then like, what kill were you just talking about? Oh, the kid when he's just walking down the stairs and he sees the kid and he's like, oh, wait a second, let me finish this. Like the creativeness and like the Michael, obviously in the first movie when he stabs the dude up, when he stabs not Bob but the other guy, it is Bob actually, up into the wall.
Yes.
And then he's like does the head tilt and then like and then leaves him hanging there. Like he finds it funny to kill these people and kind of like leave them in a funny way. So like I love that they brought that back. Like I love it
when he staged the two guys, the two boyfriends together.
Exactly like the photo.
It was so good. It was so good. When he's just Little John and Big John, where he's laying in his lap. Oh,
by the way, did you realize who those two guys were?
Mad TV was
that's Stewie.
Stewie, yes.
That's Stewart from Mad TV.
Yep.
And the other guy is the bad guy from Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he is, huh?
The devil guy, yeah.
I think the coolest part for me is when he gets surrounded. Now, mask off, whatever. But when he bends down, picks that mask off, and kind of shrugs his shoulders, do like this little neck twitch. You just do. It's so badass. He's like, man, I am the boogeyman.
Yeah. I'll say this: they did a great job. I was really worried. I knew that I was there. Oh, dude, and this is what I told Paul too. As many things as there was in that movie that I didn't love. Again, that's my nice way.
He's the best part of the whole fucking movie. Like
he, other than Nick Castle in Halloween 1, that is the best portrayal of Michael Myers. Dude, he, to me, I'll be honest, he like his portrayal in 2018, he killed it with this one. Like he erased his 2018. Like it was.
I even liked the 2018 one though. Like I like that one a lot.
To me, that's in my top 4 Halloween movies. But James, who is a great friend of John and I's, dude, that is like, other than Nick Castle in the original one, that's the best Michael Myers by far. And again, there's many things I didn't love about this movie, but him, fantastic. And also shout out to David Gordon Green, how they shot the scenes maskless, where they've never shown his face.
Yep.
Perfect. I thought they nailed that.
When he's walking through the alley and then you see like side of his face, like the back side.
And it's blurry a little bit. Like,
yep.
I really dug that. I really, I was there.
The biggest gripes were so many people did so many dumb things, whether it's dialogue or even when they surrounded. Yeah, there was a woman there with an iron. She had an iron. Like the iron clothes was a weapon. It's like,
I literally, when that happened, I kind of did this in the movie. I was like, God, fuck.
Well, how come you never get surrounded by military, SWAT, varsity football team? It'd be a little more fair. They'd literally probably kill this guy.
I mean,
bring your dry cleaning out though. Coat hangers and draw Sharpie penis on his face when we knock him out. Then he'll after us.
You imagine Michael Myers with a dick drawn on his face, dude.
On his mask.
Just the my
Michael
God.
Myers just has face tattoos with just everybody drawing on his mask. Like it looks like
put this fucking head on
iCloud rapper.
Right.
Like
Oh my God, dude.
that's what I'm dressing up as for Halloween this year. I'm going to be a Michael Myers iCloud rapper.
SoundCloud rapper.
SoundCloud.
iCloud rapper.
iCloud.
For me, like, there was 10 minutes too much of the mob scenes.
No, what there were all
the
of them were too
stuff
much.
was stupid.
Stupid.
Could have done without all of it.
I also think
and I also felt like Jamie Lee Curtis forgot how to act. This is the stuff I'm not supposed to say right now.
I don't think they gave her a good role in this. Not only a good role in the movie, but they gave her a kind of a like corny ass role in this movie.
The problem is people were anticipating her being in the movie like the last one, where this movie happens 6 minutes after the events of the 2018.
I told you guys that she wasn't going to be in this movie.
Right.
Yeah,
She was on set. She was on set for like a week.
So I think people that are fans.
The next movie is her movie.
Yeah.
The next movie is her and the daughter's movie. I felt like
the granddaughter.
The granddaughter, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Judy Greer did great in this movie too.
Hell yes.
I was there right before. I left for the airport right before they filmed the Judy Greer end scene.
Now, do you think she's dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, Michael Myers is still alive. So my whole thing was
Michael Myers
got shot how many times in this movie by all sorts of ammunition, stabbed, punched, concussed. At the very least,
he has a bulletproof vest on or not.
At the very least, this guy needs Tylenol and a glass of water, and I don't see that the entire movie. I'm just blown away by it.
He needs a nap and a snack for sure.
The mask in this movie was so fucking good.
Dude, the mask is so killer. I've got a Kills mask, which was made for me by the guy who made the mask back there.
It was so good.
Not a Kills mask. Sorry, an 18 mask.
18 mask.
I want a Kills mask. Oh, you want to see something cool? I can show it now. Hold on. I couldn't show it before.
Is this the penis?
Yeah.
Yes. So he just pulls out a big, massive dildo.
This is the eye from the movie.
Yeah, it's
with all the ash and the burning on it.
What the fuck? That's sick.
I actually took a picture of that. Last time I was at Zach's house that I never posted because I knew
you couldn't.
So maybe one day I was ahead of day.
I wasn't supposed to post until the movie came out. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought, I was very excited. We rented a theater. We rented a whole movie theater. We pulled a John. Rented a whole theater to go see it. There were parts of it I didn't love, and I'll leave it at that. It was mostly dialogue stuff. I thought some of it was kind of campy.
Have you watched it since?
I started watching it again in bed last night. We're on season 3 of You right now. We just started season 3. By the way, the boyfriend's in season 3 of You, the boyfriend that you don't like.
Nope,
that sucks, but yes.
I do think you will like this movie better the more times you watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it a second time. Still not gonna like most of it.
Man, take out the
kills.
I could have watched the whole thing last night. I turned it off.
Damn,
I was wide awake.
That's bad.
I was wide awake.
I watched Jason Goes to Space last night. Jason 10.
Oh my!
That's a terrible movie.
That's
a terrible movie.
It's a true story, but whatever.
Based on a true story.
Yo, I mean, listen. Like I thought. I don't know. I thought that the kills were great.
The music, the cinematography, the art aspect of the movie was
art aspect.
Art aspect of
dialogue.
Even though I don't
so
like gore or
it was
blood,
tasteful. It was tasteful.
It was not. No, it was not tasteful.
Sexually tasteful.
The effects though, like what they did, what Chris and his team did. Amazing. It looks so real, even though it's a personal preference thing, right? Like I'm not a fan of a lot of gore, but like if I'm not a fan of a lot of gore, what the fuck is Chris Nelson doing on set? If can't do his job, what he just make the mask and that's it?
Yeah.
Listen, everybody knows.
But what are we talking about? That's the best part, right? So he obviously nailed the fucking.
He nailed it. He nailed it. I mean, he nailed everything. He nailed the mask. He nailed the, with the flashback scene when they show the night with Oscar like on the wrought iron fence. But I'll say this, everyone knows my favorite quote, my favorite John Carpenter quote at this point, which is everybody knows what a guy with a knife is going to do. You don't have to show it. I live by that. So I realized I did go into this movie knowing it's going to be a gory movie, just like 2018 was. So I just dealt with it. And that's that. Now, Did I need to see a fireman's pickaxe going into a guy's face? Not necessarily, but after I did see
Jesse.
it,
yes, I'm like, yes, for Jesse, that fucking wimp.
After I did see it, that was pretty cool. Yeah, fuck Jesse. Was Jesse the guy last week that we're talking about?
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah. Fuck those firefighters.
Yeah, the guy that wanted to do the change thing. Like, dude, no, get the fuck out. Like, those kills.
The guy. The guy that started
ones.
a position.
Like, everybody's reaction. Like, dude, that was probably the best scene when he walks out and everybody. Do you see everybody's reaction? Everybody's like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like,
dude, when he's
just standing there with the fucking fireman's pickaxe, I was like.
When he repositions the axe and he's like, I'm about to fucking destroy this shit. Oh, yeah. I loved that.
And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They start using
the best kills of the whole
They start
movie.
using the fireman's hose, and I'm like, why are you spraying him his chest? Spray his eyes so he can't see anything, and then get the guy with the jaws of life to come around the back, dude. This is over. This is a 3-minute movie.
Does Michael Myers have a dick? Honest question.
Movie.
No one's ever hit him there. Like, I'm curious.
He's got a good hog.
What if he has a bulletproof dick vest?
Dude, he's not bulletproof. Otherwise, here's why.
He's still alive. I mean, how many times has that dude been shot?
Because I think they're gonna go to like this whole Thorn type thing where he's kind of like.
They're not gonna do that. They're gonna stay away from that.
They have to burn the house down to kill him. The only way they can do it.
I mean, the best way to get rid of him is kind of how they did in H2O, and then they realized they wanted to make another movie, so they got around it. They cut his head off.
I just don't think he's a human.
And then to get around that, they had to come up with a get around on that to make the worst movie of all time, which is Halloween Resurrection.
Busta Rhymes, my favorite Busta Rhymes movie, hands down.
Stop.
Hands down.
Where were we going initially before we started Halloween talk?
I have no idea.
So, Paul, you didn't hear about this Demi Lovato thing, right?
Oh, let me hear it. No, you guys were mentioning it right before we got on.
All right, so listen, I know it's Mental Health Month, and we're not supposed to make fun of people who had mental health things before, or like, did she have? I mean, she had an OD or whatever. But here's the thing: I like Demi Lovato. I like things that she stood for before, but like this whole woke culture thing is getting a little bit too much. So she was on it. I don't know if it was an MTV interview or what, and they said I can't believe you haven't heard about this. They said the word aliens, right? They're talking about aliens. And she said, I'm not going to quote, this isn't a quote, but she said she feels it rude to call them aliens because that's not their pronoun. It's very rude to refer to extraterrestrials as aliens because that's a rude term. Bitch, we're talking about aliens.
Yeah, to kind of give some context to her, though, she's been doing a lot of the stuff with Dr. Greer the last 2 years after she had that relapse. She's been doing the consciousness stuff, and so she's been working with Steven on this. Well, no, she went to a bunch of his retreats about consciousness and stuff like that. And he's been on her talk show, and she's been on one of his episodes. But she's very.
We know Steven Greer though.
Dude, I'll text her right now and say, what's going on with your
Time
people?
out. Time the fuck out. Hold on.
Where do we... I just think she took it too far. It's like almost like, how about we take care of the human race before we start worrying about the genders and...
What we're going to call them in outer space.
Right. How about we be good people to each other as opposed to...
each other. And then we can be good people to aliens when they come down here and fuck us all up.
I hope. Okay, it can't come soon enough, honestly.
I agree.
Listen. First off, I said her, and I know I'm getting in trouble for that. Because Demi Lovato is not a her. She's a they. Even though there's only one of her. So I don't know who they is.
Somebody might.
There's probably more of her. I actually, you know what? Anyway, listen. Like, here's the thing. I've got friends who, are part of this community, right? And if you say the wrong thing, they don't go, "Hey, fuck you, man." That's not what
100%.
They go,
nope.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all good. Like, and that's what you should do. People who get offended because, like, I said her about them. I don't know what I don't know. Again, I'm kind of like Dave Chappelle. Like, I support you. It doesn't mean I have to understand it. I don't have to understand it.
It's gonna get to a point where you can't even call somebody, "Hey, bud."
Bro, we're talking about fucking aliens.
I know. There's some stuff too where I don't need to understand, nor do I care. I just appreciate you willing to, no matter who you are, to put it out there.
I understand that you're. Like what Dave Chappelle talks about in the thing when he talks about Daphne and she just screams out. He goes, I need you to understand that I'm a human going through it. And I'm like, I understand that.
Best. That was the best.
I'm a human going through it.
I don't get the. I know Demi Lovato. I mean, I think before she obviously has issues with drugs, and I don't know what those demons are. I've never experienced them, but I know people that have, and she's at least live now. Maybe. I don't know. It is very weird. I don't understand this whole idea.
You just don't say dumb stuff. Don't go on national television and go, well, I don't think they want to be called aliens. Like you're gonna
have you talked to one of them? Have they told you that?
Dude,
maybe they prefer to be called fucking
don't get
aliens.
mad. Don't get mad when people make fun of you for saying quite possibly one of the dumbest things ever uttered on
Here's the thing, too. You want to say all this shit. How many times have you driven by Demi, someone under a bridge who's a veteran or a homeless man or woman, and you don't give two shits about them, but you care about some interdimensional being.
Extraterrestrial, yeah.
Right.
And what we're calling them. Like they're flying around in UFOs waiting to murder us all, being like, yeah, actually, I don't like being called
They're
aliens.
offended.
Like,
they're offended by everything, and they're going to kill us all.
No, they're
offended. Aliens offended are how fucking dumb we are about all this shit.
They were like, we're going to come down there, but you guys suck.
Also, didn't Dr. Stephen Greer, one of the main things he says is that they don't have feelings?
They're not here to attack or fight or whatever.
They
That's why
have no subconscious about the whole deal.
Sure.
Right. Well, I think now they're probably like, man, let's put COVID 21 on these people. Maybe after that, they can start thinking straight again because this is bullshit. This planet sucks.
Yeah, I mean, mostly I look at aliens as like the old alien, like I come in peace, you know.
Yeah, hey man, just come hang out down here.
I don't think aliens are coming to fuck us up.
I don't either. But here's something that might ruffle some feathers. Where I hate the movie E.T. I hate the movie E.T.
Why?
When he's on the riverbank, when E.T. is on the riverbank, like all jaundiced out, like looks like an old wet Band-Aid. It scarred me as a kid. Now as I got older, I just realized, dude, E.T. was a huge bitch. Like, give me the Ridley Scott alien. Give me the Predator. Give me something visceral instead of rip your skin off and vertebrae. Not some guy that wants to eat candy because he's a diabetic.
All right, let's
touching people with his big finger.
Let's settle something right now, and we're gonna make it quick. What's everybody's favorite alien movie? Go, John.
Aliens.
E.T.
Yes.
E.T. Mine's Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks is a great movie. Great satire.
That's fair. I don't know, man. The Watch is a really great movie too.
Sure.
I love The Watch. I love that movie.
Wow. So aliens are probably offended by everybody calling them aliens. Got it.
Fucking stupid, man.
The fuck do you call them? Oh my god. Anyways, mental health month for October.
Good segue.
Just got one Good segue. Fun of Demi Lovato.
I had
really spoken jest.
So I had texted you guys last week and I said, hey, I think the next podcast we should probably touch on mental health awareness because I think it is important. I know I struggle with a lot. I know Zach struggles with a lot of things. And I think it's important for people to know that it's more common than they probably think. Everybody kind of has their own thing that they go through. I struggle a lot with depression and PTSD from a lot of things that happened. My dad committing suicide and all of those things. And I struggled for a long time. A month after my dad committed suicide, I'd moved down to Arizona, and I was probably the most angst up, like angry, just teenage kid at that point. And until about, I was probably like 3 or 4 years ago when finally I was going to my therapist pretty regularly, and she was like, hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know how you're gonna handle it. She's like, what do you know about PTSD? And I was like, I don't know. I was ignorant, right? And I was just like, I don't know. A lot of people from the military get it, right? And she's like, yeah, but you know, it's a thing that more commonly everyday folk have. So, yeah, I think it's important that people should be able to openly communicate how they're feeling and not necessarily be judged, but be able to talk more openly about it. But if people don't understand it, don't be offended by it. Just say, hey, I'm going through some shit and chalk it up to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, John sees mine probably more than anybody. I didn't really, I don't know if we're gonna throw bricks into the ocean and go deep here. I never really had any, I always tell people I don't remember a lot from my childhood, but I had a great childhood, right? But like, when I was 14, my cousin committed suicide, who was like one of the closest people to me, and he was only 19 years old. And that was like my first scar, mentally and on my heart, and I have his initials tattooed on my arm. And, everyone always asks about the Nintendo tattoo. Well, the truth is it has really nothing to do with Nintendo. These are all the games that I remember playing with my cousin, Justin. And that's why his initials are in the Paperboys newspaper. And I remember just being like, not understanding, when you're 14, you don't want to know what committing suicide is. It's not something you really want to be aware of, and then, fast forward, my grandmother dying fucked me up, in 2012. And then you fast forward to, I never really understood anxiety and depression. I've been in a band with a guy who suffers from it since 2008, being Eric, and I was so ignorant, and we all were, I'm glad it's becoming more of a subject to talk about now, but I certainly remember like being, this dude and like being with this guy, and when he would be sad, be like, hey man, look, we're on top of the world. What, like, why be like
not
this?
really understanding it, right? Yeah.
And you don't understand, like, oh,
do you think it's because we're men that if being a man, we have to hide kind of like these feelings per se?
I think that was the case for a long time.
That's a stereotype for sure. Yeah.
It's definitely a stereotype. Like Bill Burr's talked about in a special before. He's like, you're supposed to push that shit down until you dropped out of a heart attack at 50. Like that's, right? Yeah. That's kind of what you do. Right. And so for me, but I was never like that. I'd like to think of myself as a pretty tough dude, when it comes to a lot of things, but I'm also a very sensitive guy, man. Like I talk about my feelings a lot, especially since I have kids, right? I think Paul can relate to this too. Like the shit I'll fucking cry about randomly now.
Oh yeah, dude.
Insane. Like movies.
A commercial? I'm like
commercial, yeah. So like, I had kids in 2016, but I didn't really know. I'm not gonna say I made fun of people with anxiety. I'm not a bully, but I would go, I would sit there and go, I don't understand it.
And that's fine.
Stop being nervous. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand. So, I have a lot of anxiety. I'm like, well, don't.
Sure, and because you don't understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in like February 2018, I was in Nashville, and we were getting ready to get all the gear ready for the tour, and it was me, Sparky, Hoogie, and Eric. And we were in a warehouse, and it felt like someone was pouring warm water. Like my body was empty, and it felt like water boiling up from my toes, and then my legs went numb, and then my arms went numb, and then my face went numb. And I'm a pretty big hypochondriac, so I literally go to Sparky and I'm like, hey, I'm having a heart attack. Call 911. And he's like, I don't think you're having a heart attack. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. Call 911. I like chewed 3 aspirin and like ran around the warehouse to get my blood moving. And, it was a big deal to me. And then it happened again on the drive home. And then basically in the next month, I went to the ER 3 times in a month because I thought I was having heart issues. Fast forward, I'll try to make this as short as possible. But I started going to a cardiologist. And after 5 visits to a cardiologist, to where basically every time I went, he was like, you're fine. And I said, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to do more. Until the point where we were being invasive, and I had a full blown fucking cardiac CT where I went in the machine. They shot the dye through my arteries because I was like, I have a blockage. I'm going to die of a heart attack. And they were like, dude, no, you're not. Mm-hmm. And I was, and what it makes you realize is that at this point, and then finally I do it, and my arteries were fine and everything was fine. And he's like, have you ever considered the fact that you maybe have like panic disorder or you have panic attacks or anxiety? And I'm like, no, I've never had that before. And then I went and talked to somebody about it and they were like, well, what's going on in your life? And I'm like, nothing. Like, I don't stress about things. I'll get overwhelmed at times, but it's not like I don't feel like anxious, you know? And so like, that's not what I asked. I asked what's going on. And I'm like, well, I have a new record coming out. This is before Attention came out. I'm like, we just bought a new house. We still have our old house. We're renovating the new house. I'm like, I have another kid on the way. And they're like, nothing going on, huh?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, maybe that's what it is. And it turns out that I have panic disorder, you know, and I, you know, for a while, you know, but you don't realize, right, the fact that like it gets the best of you so much to where like I'm telling a doctor of 30 years that he's fucking wrong. This guy that's been in the medical field.
You're like, nah, man, that's not what it is.
The guy's been in the medical field since I was 5 years old at this point. And I go, you're wrong.
To be fair, the doctor could have been Fauci.
Could very well could have been. And he was like, actually, he would actually told me I wasn't having a heart attack. And then 2 weeks later, been like, maybe you are. I don't know.
Put on a fucking
And then
mask.
a week later go, actually, you know what?
Died.
Actually, you know what? I rethought it. You're not again. And then 5 days later, he texts me and goes, I think you had a heart attack. And then 3 days later goes, actually, I don't know anymore. No, you know, like I'm telling this guy,
you know what? We're gonna move the goalpost.
We're gonna keep moving the goalposts. You know, a day later, you know, then you are having a heart attack. No, but I'm sitting there telling this guy that I'm like, oh wait, like the cruelest thing about anxiety and panic attacks is that if you don't think about them, you don't have them. But the problem is once you have one, it's fucking all you think about. You don't think about anything else. Like it was crazy. Like I said, like we talked about this last week, I know, but like John seen me like straight up walk out of meet and greets.
Oh yeah,
I met John. I met John way before, but John started working for us right as this stuff started happening to me. You know, and so like, you know, listen, we still got these people
those
cackling.
series, like episodes of your bunk and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like I still have it. Like I'll still wake up, you know, 4 times a year I'll wake up and be like, and think like I stopped like breathing in my sleep.
For me, like the panic attacks that I have, it feels like I'm holding my breath and I can't let out like air. Like, and it's terrifying.
Like that John's pushing down on top of your head while you're blowing him and he won't let you come up.
Yeah, it's actually Barry Courage trying to kill Zach while he slept. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, by the way, there's a video. There is a video now of the bar trying to kill me. John, I mean, what are your thoughts about all this stuff?
Do you struggle with anything, John? Like, if you don't mind me asking?
What's that?
Do you struggle with anything like that?
Other than not murdering people and saying things that will get him fired from any job that he's ever had.
Because I mean, think about it. John's had probably some of the most stressful situations ever. Like,
yeah, but I mean, I guess I'm one of those naive people where it's like, I don't get depression. I don't know.
Same,
and here's the thing. Obviously, I can read any book. I know people who are depressed. And I'm just like, I don't get it, but this is where for me I started not saying I have depression or that type of stuff, but when I see someone like Eric Bass have a really bad day or Zach deal with his thing, or I have cousins and friends that obviously are clearly have depressive issues and just whatever mental health problems. And when I see people like that struggling or upset, I get upset. So I don't know if that's just me kind of feeling bad for them that maybe I do have those feelings, but I suppress it differently or I deal with it differently. I don't know. Like I've never had we've all, as anyone else has, we've had deaths in their lives, whether it's unexpected or expected. They've had trauma. They've had whatever. And so for me, I had a friend that I played hockey with that he was a great friend, grew up all together, and he went out drinking after a prom type thing, and he killed himself drunk driving. And like as you kind of fill in the pieces of why he did this, like he was never this kid or whatever. Like the last thing he did that night was put a rose on his mom's pillow saying, "Thanks for being a great mom." And this is back in 95, 96 and whatever. And I'm going to this open casket. And it was an open casket. And I think part of it was to show his friends and kids at this age, hey, your decisions have consequences. And there are times when I will still see his face in that casket. And that's kind of the reason why stuff like that, why I've never done the drunk driving, never did the stuff that I was scared shitless of seeing a friend die just like that. And so there's stuff like that where I'm kind of always in the back of my mind, like just dealing with stuff like that. Like I always have the fear of caskets and death. Like death does scare me, and seeing people like that. But like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just, I don't wake up mornings and be like, man, my life sucks. But there are some mornings that I wake up and I go, man, it sucks that some people can't wake up how I'm feeling now. So I don't know what that is there, but I think that's empathy.
I think that's empathy. I think what you have is empathy for the situation, even though you can't understand it. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the Chappelle thing, right? Like I have empathy for these things that people are going through, having to suffer and be bullied for something that they think is what their life is, even though I don't understand it. I still have empathy for it, right? Like I think you have empathy for I have empathy for Eric. You know, I hate the fact, he told me one day, he's like, I wish I could just go in here. I wish this piece was right here and I could just pull it out. Mm-hmm. Even if it meant sacrificing something else. But you just don't feel that way anymore.
Then one day, me, Eric, Hoogie, Ricky, Sanjay, I think a couple others, we all hiked at that glacier in Alaska before the State Fair show in 2019. And we're inside there, we're hiking, we're in there. Like clearly, this thing could collapse, killing everyone here. But we're up at the top, just laughing, shirtless, drinking water. And he goes, John, I wish I could feel like this every day. And it never really hit me until like a couple of days later, when I'm like, obviously, just thinking about it. I go, man, he had so much fun, or had doing something like this where he couldn't think about the bad days or the depression. Where people like that are always searching for that feeling of euphoria where they don't have those bad thoughts or those bad days. And from seeing somebody Eric always chase that, or a cousin or one of you guys chase that feeling of not feeling sad or down, that I guess would be my empathetic view towards people that are struggling with this stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get that dopamine hit, and you're like, in your brain.
How do you sustain? How could you sustain?
How do you keep that around long enough?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that, you how do you keep that feeling, right? And I know Eric wakes up days and feels great, and I know that there's days that Eric wakes up and feels bad. Just like me, like I wake up, and get overwhelmed. Like I'm kind of with John, right? Like my biggest, something that I don't talk about a lot is like, I think where my hypochondria comes from and all that stuff is like, I'm horribly afraid of dying. Like, which is not a very Christian thing. Like my wife is like the furthest thing from afraid of dying. Now, I don't know if it's I'm scared of dying, but here's the thing. Here's where it gets fuzzy, right? I don't know if it's I'm scared of dying as much as I'm scared of not being a part of tomorrow. You know what I mean? Death, I don't know if death scares me. I think it's not being a part of my kid's life. It's not being, I lived with FOMO before it was even a word, right? Like when John sees me like on a festival day, like I'm up early. Like I want to see every band. I want to see every band. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's me. Like on days off, if there's a show in town, like I'm going to that show. Like I don't stop moving. That's kind of always my thing,
You're taking advantage of as much as you can while you're here, right? Like you're trying to.
But I'm also a person. It goes to show that, like, listen, we're talking about mental health. I talked to our friend Adam Scher the other day about kind of why he wanted to leave WWE, and he ended up obviously getting let go, but it was one of those things to where like. It was the comments. We talked about this before. Like, dude, wrestling nerds are the most relentless group of people in the history of ever.
Marks.
Stay behind the keyboard.
Totally. You know what I mean? And it's like those people. Hold on one second. Yeah, bud. Okay, I'll be done really soon. You can go watch a show for a second, though. Okay. Go
watch Halloween Kills.
Yeah. He actually asked me if he could go to the movie with me the other night. I said, well, it's a scary movie. He goes, what's scary about it? I go, all those masks I have in the room? He goes, yeah. I said, it's that guy. And he goes, I'm not afraid of that. And I was like, oh, well. Anyway, we were talking about Adam. We're talking about Adam and / Braun Strowman. And he was like, man, it was the comments, man. It's like, you do this thing. You have to do this thing that's written for you by other people. And when you do it, what happens is everyone will like talk so much trash about you and tell you should kill yourself and you shouldn't, like, and that's kind of my thing. Like, I talk about the meet and greet thing, right? And then all these things come up about, and then listen, it's not the general nucleus of fans, and by that I mean 99.9% of them have my back. There's like 3 of them who are still on this kick about trying to talk shit about me, even though the rest of my band feels the exact same way that I do. But I'm the vocal one, right? So I'm the one that catches shit.
You're really one that's on social media too, like in terms of.
I'm the one that catches shit in the comment section, even though Brent feels the exact same way I do about those things. So does Barry. So does Eric, right? We like doing them, but it's like those people don't realize that, like when I talk about not doing them and then they continue to comment and talk about me being the bad guy, like you're proving my fucking point. Mm-hmm. You're the fucking problem. You're the person clowning in fucking class that makes me go, well, fuck this. How about we just fucking ruin it for everybody? Because you're acting like a fucking clown. And it just makes me mad, man. Like, and also like putting words into my mouth. And it's like 3 fucking goddamn people, and they know who they are. And it's like putting words in my mouth, saying I fucking said I called him a certain thing. Like, this bullshit. No, I didn't. I said fucking older than me. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, you said that. Like, it's just like, and it's to the point where I'm getting to the point where it's like, I get so much satisfaction just blocking people now. Oh my God.
That's great.
Just fucking block. And I'm going to block. What's going to end up happening is they're going to keep fucking going, and they're going to keep going. And honestly, everybody else would block them too. They honestly just don't know how to. In my band, like Brent doesn't, I just show Brent where his DMs were. And by the way,
I'm not
every time I see him, I still have
all.
to show him, because I'll be like, oh, I sent it to you on Instagram. He's like, I don't check that.
We need to have Kent read those one day, by the way. That'd be amazing.
Dude, Kent reads DMs. Dude,
get out of here.
Best.
That would be
the best. By the way, to help with our mental health, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the movie of the week.
There goes Kent reading movies. Gonna talk about touching boobies.
Just when you thought we've given you too much, we're giving you more. Brazzers, channel 597, $11.99. Petite Asians versus Big Meat. Can they take it all? We're about to find out, because sexy Asian amateurs get absolutely rocked by monster meat pipes. Her tiny little kitty can barely handle his box-busting man cannon, and she's moaning and begging to be stretched out and pasted with goo. That's right, guys. Sexy Asian amateurs get absolutely rocked by monster meat pipes. Her tiny little kitty can barely handle his box-busting man cannon. Think about it, alliteration. And she's moaning and begging to be stretched out and pasted with goo. See what they did there? You got it. Petite Asians versus Big Meat. Can they take it all? Find out tonight.
I mean, listen, if that's not going to cure your anxiety and depression,
that does something for me.
My Johnson has never been more restless after that.
Oh man. I don't know how you're going to cure it if not that. You know what I mean?
I do.
What mental health?
On a side note, this will. I think this is actually. It's actually the first time I could have been in an orgy per se. Maybe. It all kind of ties into that last thing. Ken
all right, I love this. What's going on?
So when this is right with the onset of Y2K, like 1999, 2000. I was at my Greek friend's house, and he was older than me, like by like a year or two in grade school or in middle school, whatever it was.
Would you say this is when like Millennium
Did you say
came
great
out
friend or Greek friend?
Greek.
Okay.
And I recently just reconnected with him through social media, which is why so that happened. And I'm going through my old like trunk of like trinkets from like middle school and high school, all the bullshit I've kept.
You're
and
Joe
I come
from
across
you.
this.
Yeah, we know.
Yes. And so I come
People's
across
teeth.
2 CDs. The Savage Garden album that had
classic.
Truly Madly Deeply Do. And I had the soundtrack to Godzilla, which had the Puff Daddy, Jimmy Page.
Ooh, great.
And the Wallflowers Heroes cover.
Yes. And so I pick up on the kid. I'm laughing. And I'm like, man, I just connected with my friend. I'm not going to say his name.
The Greek freak.
Full Greek.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, for sure. Except much whiter. And dude, I go thinking, man, the first time I heard this Puff Daddy, Godzilla, this Jimmy Page song, I was at his house. We just got done soccer practice. He had a bunch of girls over, like a bunch of our soccer kids over, but it wasn't like a week. It was
no
like
girls were there.
No, there were a couple. His sister was there. She was a couple years older than him, and so we all kind of got along, like that Greek mentality party.
Get to the point. What happened?
Yeah, dude, keep talking, bro.
So,
keep talking.
I touched himself. So I'm listening to CD, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's this girl, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna start having some fun if you don't have to, whatever." And so I'm still literally listening to this album, not thinking anything twice. I turn around me, and I literally see like my friend with a girl with him, another girl like kissing his thigh, and like I'm just like, dude, I can't be here right now.
Yeah,
I can't be here right now. And so
you took off your pants.
And so I humped my feet. No, and so I'm just like, hey, like I totally feel uncomfortable here. Like,
this was like, you just pulled a Zach Myers, dude. You go, I'm not gonna say his name, and then you just said his name.
And so I'm just like, man, I can't. I gotta peace out here. And so that was, I just laughed because I'm like, it's so funny, like different times in your life where a CD or a song you'll come across again. I'm like, man.
So now anytime Godzilla comes on, you think about the orgy.
Well, I forgot about that cover. And so ultimately I downloaded it the other day and listened to it again. I'm like, dude, this brings me back to the time I was almost in a weird.
He just gets horny immediately.
We're just covered in feta, literally just lamb roasting.
It's just this Puff Daddy going, come with me. Makes me realize that I was almost in a child orgy one time.
To come,
yeah, for sure. No, we were all that
was Diddy telling you to come with him, bro.
Yeah, I think I did. No, but you know what? It was very interesting. So yeah, sidetrack, but great song.
With that being said, I mean, should we go into John the Shaman real quick? Like, John, do you have anything this week?
Yeah, I do. I have some shit to go through.
John the Shaman, keeping you on track. All you gotta do is touch his big old sack of mail.
All right, so I'm going to start with a dream here. This is actually a really good dream. In my dream, is that a Dawkins song? In my dreams. Yeah, it is. All right, so in my dream, I was going for a swim when I was approached by a scout looking for people to star in his movie. I happened to get chosen, thinking, wow, what an opportunity and how cool. Only to discover
was it an orgy after soccer practice while listening to the Godzilla soundtrack album?
It could have been.
Casting couch for sure.
Did this person have shin guards on? Only to discover upon arrival that the movie I was a part of was a porno. In the dream, I bust out laughing as why this guy would choose me, only to be told they were looking for ladies of a caliber and to make it relatable. I figured out, why not? Let's give it a go. That's how often does this sort of opportunity arise. As I enter the movie, seeing a lot of naked people, I'm about to enter my scene as the bikini girl from the pool. I wake up. Any ideas? And this is a female that sent this in.
Yeah. Any ideas? You should probably go down to Miami and find a casting couch. I mean, what?
Clearly, you are.
I always wish the dreams were life advice, and the life advice were dreams.
Right.
I wish this was life advice right now.
Yeah, what should I do here?
Wait, are you still there right now? Because we can FaceTime you and figure this out together.
Wow, what do you make of this dream here, Zach?
I mean, listen, I've been a part of this dream before, dude. I was wearing a red bikini though. No. I mean, maybe your calling is that you want to go be in adult films. You know, maybe that's, or
here's what I
maybe
take
you have like
this.
a taboo fantasy. You know what I mean? It's just so you don't have to be filmed. You know.
Here's what I take of this. Okay, you're going to make more money as an independent contractor. You don't want to get into the big film business. Yeah, doing OnlyFans. You're your own boss, like cock tract.
I'm sorry, did you say cock tract?
Yeah, cock tractor.
I thought you said cock tract like contract, but cock tract.
You should look into a new business venture. Jesus Christ, sure. A cock tractor?
Which way you both stick your dick into like a paper towel.
John's a general cock tractor.
hog tractor. Oh my God.
This person's depraved of sex, possibly. Maybe they are.
Isn't everyone?
Yeah.
When's the last time you two have had a dream like that where you're in an orgy or something like overly sexual?
I just took a nap, bro. What do you think?
Really? Like, but tell us, like, what you do?
I
what you discuss?
I have dreams where I'm either trying to get like something bad's happening and there's murder somewhere, or I'm having sex dreams. I don't have. Dude, I've had straight up dreams where my friends were like realtors trying to sell me houses, which obviously sounds like and
then somebody gets murdered or has sex.
Bro, that'd be crazy. I've never had them integrated, right? Where it was like two
murder and sex.
I've had dreams where like my straight up like real like friends, like actual like friends who are girls who have nothing's ever happened with them. Like they were like trying to sell me like a house,
and then they kill you,
and then they kill me.
Hey Zach, can we extended car warranty? They're like salesmen. And all of a sudden,
we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Those are the dreams I have. Then I realize,
and then they start
real
eating
nightmares.
your asshole. You're like, oh God, this is such a great dream.
Well, guys, I thought we weren't going to talk about anything stupid on this one, but I guess we're talking about eating assholes. So
we got a good question. Mail here. Hey guys, question for you all. Are you guys into food?
Please don't say my name.
Are you guys into food during sex? If so, what food have you done? Any stories you could share?
This is a Seinfeld skit. I'm just putting that out there. Go ahead.
I love that all these people think we're just horned up, like psychotic.
We're just horned up fat pieces of shit that want to eat and have sex at the same time.
The only two we just integrate the only two things we think about. You know what? I told this story the other day to somebody. I'm not going to say the name of the band. I was on tour. With my band.
Or something is trapped.
Lacey Sturm.
I was on tour with my band in the 90s, which I'll say that was the Zach Myers band. But we were on tour with another band that had a huge hit in the late 90s. They really only had like one big hit, right? So we played in Cabo on spring break with this band. This band was I'll tell you guys after the podcast. This band was four very good looking dudes. Like, I mean, they look like supermodels and they were all like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, too tall to be in a band. Too tall to be in a band. But all look like supermodels. And the guy, the singer lyrically like had went to Stanford or something like that. I mean, like, again, they look like Abercrombie models. But they were like a real band, right? And had a record that did really good in the late 90s. And we were on tour with them and we played Cabo on spring break. And the Trojan people came out to the show, the Trojan Condoms people, and they brought all the bands like boxes of condoms. So on this, we were in an RV at the time, and this band, I keep pulling a Zach and I almost say their name every time, had like one of those 3-tray fruit baskets where it's like a small, middle, medium, large, right? And they had fruit in them, right? And they just dumped all the condoms in those fruit baskets. So, dude, there would be nights where we were on the bus and like, dude, when I say girls came to see this band, I mean like college, co-ed, just the hottest chicks you've ever seen. They would like, if the bus left, they would like chasing after the bus, like running, right?
Wait to hear who this is later.
So they would, they did have a hit in the late 90s. So like they would bring girls on the bus and like the girls would like, they would keep fruit in the freezer. This is a true story. Like bananas, whatever, mostly bananas.
And bananas.
And so like what they would do is like, dude, there would be girls who would get so wild on this bus. They would take a frozen banana, put one of the condoms on it and start like, just like railing out like another girl on the, I'm like, yo, this is insanity. Anyway, my story is to say, have I personally ever brought food?
Bananas are in your appetite for.
That's good.
Why do you have a chest freezer in your bedroom?
That's good potassium. Did they take the peel off the banana, or did they just keep it as is?
I maybe used the peel was on it. It was frozen. I maybe used some like whipped cream or chocolate back in the day when I was a teen.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
I just don't like mess.
Frozen grapes.
I don't want to be sticky. I don't want anything that's gonna be sticky after.
I just don't like mess. Like I don't want to eat like crepes off your chest. Like just like let's have sex and then we'll just eat somewhere after.
One of my friends, when we were younger, his chest was like super indented.
What is the bowl of cereal?
Yeah, my buddy had a bowl of cereal out of it one time.
Is this person's rib cage okay?
Yeah, they actually had surgery.
All right, so if you had to pick a food in the bedroom, what would it be? John, go.
So is this something we can prepare or just a single object?
Oh my God! Why does it have to be a whole thing with you?
John's thinking about like sous vide salmon.
He's like, I'll take a
I tell you what, I love a good Caesar salad. I could eat that out of anything. But if I'm gonna go with John's
got like a smaller beef Wellington just in the oven.
Yeah,
I'll be there in a second, hon.
Right. Yeah, it's cooking on the yeast.
If you could find, if anybody listening, if you could find the episode that I'm thinking about, I would have a hot pastrami sandwich.
Oh, is that a Seinfeld thing?
Absolutely, it is. Of course, it is.
What else? You quote nothing else. Yeah, frozen banana for me.
Frozen.
How about frozen? Pomegranate anal beads?
Pomegranate anal beads.
That's the name of my new metal record.
All right, you got any more, John?
No, that's everything.
All right, cool. Paul, you want to do some news, buddy?
Paul reads the news. Paul reads the news.
Yeah. So I'm going to follow up on this because I think this is very important.
Do it quick because I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, my God. Go right now. Sit right there and go in front of everybody. Brian Laundrie lookalike gets bomb rushed by feds. Did you see this? Either of you?
No.
Dude looks exactly like the guy that's on the run.
Yep.
Off the Appalachian Trail, dude was staying at a hotel, looks exactly like him, like has identical marks and everything. And then after the feds bomb rushed him a little too prematurely, they realized it's not him. So I think because Dog the Bounty Hunter is not on it anymore, that they're just falling apart.
Dude, sometimes you need a little dog in your life. You know what I mean? You got to have some dog in your life to make this happen.
Brother, don't I know it?
If Dog would have been there, he'd be like, fellas, that's not the guy.
That's not the guy. This guy's got way too much ice on him. So this one will be a Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker got engaged. Let's be honest.
Good for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for them. She's never been married before.
Yep.
She was with Scott Disick forever. She's got kids with him. Travis is obviously like I think I told you guys before, like I went back and watched a couple episodes of like his old television show with Shannon Moakler where like they were like, that guy seems like truly the most romantic, wholeheartedly loving person on earth. Like when he's in love with a girl, dude, like that guy is all in, man. So shout out to them. And also my favorite Kardashian. So I hope that they.
Do you think his cock is tattooed?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably got something on it.
Oh, just curious.
Just curious.
Well, that would probably be the most painful tattoo, right? That elbow, or like maybe the palm, or back and knee.
Palm,
right?
palm is cock, like
dude.
out. Your hog is you're feeling it.
Hog tats, bro.
Oh my God.
HOGGTATZ.
Yeah.
That ain't fitting on there.
Little hog tatter. Pull back the.
There really hasn't been anything too exciting. We already covered a lot of it. But John, everybody knows I'm a diehard Raider fan. John Gruden, the now former coach of the Raiders, has resigned because he said a bunch of ignorant shit in an email like 10 years ago. I don't care how old it is. You still said some ignorant shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Still wrong. But can we talk about
I had like I'm not kidding you guys. I had probably 30 to 40 like people shoot me a text. Yo, did you see this thing about John Gruden? Yeah, yes. At
first, all we thought it was the big lips thing, which he didn't say anything racial other than that. I mean, that's a racial stereotype, obviously. But then I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. He's getting fired for that. And then like all the other stuff came out. I was like, oh.
Now let me ask you guys this: he's the type of guy that will go scorched earth. He's not losing any of his money. He's gonna still whatever. He's gonna fade away.
He's getting paid out his contract. Yeah.
But you don't think he has names and the
of other people that have said some shit?
Other coaches in that league in the 80s and 90s and he's gonna. They're scared,
dude. This is the NFL version without the pervertism or sleeping with underage girls. This is the NFL version of Jeffrey Epstein right here, dude. There's people right now whose fucking assholes are so tight
Oh, they're terrified
so
of what?
John Gruden, and John Gruden's like one of those guys that like he's a guy's guy. He's very approachable. All these dudes have. I want to see the fucking replies to those emails. That's what I want to fucking see. Here's my problem with it. I think he needs to keep his job after calling somebody the F word, and I don't mean fuck. Or saying racial slurs. I think you got to lose your job for that, no matter how long ago it was. I'll say this though, dude. If you go to Buffalo Bills Stadium. The NFL doesn't need to be talking about integrity. The NFL doesn't need to be talking about integrity yet. O.J. Simpson's name is up. I was like, come on, dude. Like
allegedly, but yes.
Allegedly. This guy allegedly murdered people.
Yes, but this is actual proven emails. Here's my thing. It's going to be one of those things. Is John Gruden going to out everybody? But at the same time, I'm glad that, not glad. It's good that he was aware that, hey, I'm going to just resign before I could even get fired because I fucked up. Like, shouldn't have said it.
I mean,
they didn't even get to fire him. I mean, he was going to
kind of make you resign. Yeah, they kind of make you resign. Though.
Imagine if like these athletes like Jordan and these guys had Twitter back in the day, like the heyday. Like, you imagine the shit talk that Gary Payton would be.
You know how many people would be canceled or anything?
Thank God,
dude, Kevin Garnett, dude.
Oh my God, that guy would skid his own mother just for.
Can you imagine what Latrell Sprewell has said? Fucking
my
hell.
God.
I know what some people dressed as Latrell Sprewell said,
which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right,
that's drums for Collective Soul now.
That's all I have for the news.
I went to. I'm not gonna do gripes this week.
I like that.
No gripes this week.
Say
keep
what?
It positive. Let's keep it positive.
Gripes.
We've been talking about mental health positive. Oh, don't worry, I have some.
I don't doubt it.
I have some. Let's keep it positive. Let's sign off here. We will see everybody next week.
Yes.
Or Paul may not. I don't know.
I'm going to try. I'm going to do whatever I can. If I have to get on the Instagram live and talk to everybody for a little bit, I'll do whatever I can.
Next week, I'm going to wear Paul's vest. Now, Paul,
it is not a I feel so out of place now, not being next to you guys doing it.
Yeah, it feels really good that we're all in a room together. Maybe, you know what? Listen, maybe soon we sign like $1 million contract for this podcast, and we get to be together every time and just record the podcast. We'll have our own seemingly unknown bus out with Shinedown, and that's our job is podcasting at that point.
We got to ask Mark if there's a way we can record it on a flight on the plane.
We could.
Yeah, record it. We're all together.
Please, if you don't subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and any place where you get your podcast, like it, turn on your notifications on YouTube. We appreciate you. Be sure to check out John's other podcast, Spear Talk. Be sure to catch Paul out on tour with Amigo the Devil. He's coming to Memphis. I will sadly not be there this weekend.
You guys, let's not stereotype aliens. Okay, listen,
guys.
Call them what they want to be called.
Let's let aliens tell us what they want to be called. You know what I'm saying?
And we'll see you guys next week.
Also, if you have dreams or life advice, or you want to swap them, or tell us anything, or do anything, the email address is suplifeadvice@gmail.com. John?
suplifeadvice@gmail.com.
Paulie Tamale.
suplifeadvice@gmail.com.
John, did you say the P word right after that? It sounded like you might have. Go see the new Halloween movie. We'd love to know what you think about it. Pig ear.
So before we really sign off, I have got more messages from people saying the pig ear is either.
Oh, dude. Insanity.
I've had so many people message me as well.
Pop culture. I get people sending me pictures of them eating like dog treats or going to like the store for treats for their dogs with selfies with pig ears. I'm like,
I also had 3 people.
We're trending now with pig ears, everybody. Like,
I had 3 people tell me ham wallet as a substitute as well.
Ham wallet.
Ham wallet.
See you guys next week.
I went to we'll talk about. I went to Disney and Universal, and I rode like the Velocicoaster and a couple other new things. So
we're catching that on the next week. Episode. Yep.
We'll talk about some gripes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support as always. We'll see you live here on YouTube every Wednesday. We won't be live, but you'll be watching it live. Take care. Be well. Be nice to people, and we'll see you next time. You fucking nerds.
Nerds.